When you're in a ranked match, one goal could be the difference between you winning and losing. Failing to take advantage of a scoring opportunity can completely sell your chance at winning. Despite this, many players will end up missing them without even realizing it. I'll help you understand why you are missing these opportunities and how to never miss another one again. There are 3 things that are required to take proper advantage of opportunities given to you. 1. Understand the situation and how it's likely going to unfold. 2. Being in the right position to take advantage of it. 3. Timing your challenges properly. The primary reason why players end up missing opportunities is because they don't have enough information on what's going on in the play. The bottom line is that if you aren't paying attention, you won't be in the proper position. Your awareness is the first and most important thing to fix. In order to fix your awareness, you will need to first know exactly what you're supposed to be looking for. There are a few things that a player needs to pay attention to in order to properly judge when a scoring opportunity is present. You need to pay attention to the positioning of everyone on the field, not just knowing where the opponents are, but also where your teammate is. Knowing where everyone is on the field will allow you to weigh your options to take proper advantage of the given situation. For example, if you're unable to score from your position because an opponent is guarding the net, you can instead utilize your teammate if they're in a scoring position. Having information on where everyone is will allow you to properly judge the situation and make a good decision. The next thing to pay attention to is the amount of boost that players have on the field. The amount of boost the player has will determine how much they are able to do in each situation. Let's take a basic power shot for example. Something like this is very effective against players with low boost because their reach is limited. Just getting a well-placed shot could be all it takes to get a goal. If the opponent has a lot of boost, it will take far more effort to score. You can't expect the ball to go in as easy if they have boost, so your shot needs to be far more dangerous if you want it to be a goal. Knowing how much boost the player has will help you understand the best way to approach a situation. The final thing to pay attention to is the overall context of the situation. Having context for why the player is in a certain position will help you understand what the best option is. If the opponents are in a defensive position and have been pelted with shots for a long period of time, it would be safe to assume that they are low on boost and will eventually try to grab more. With this knowledge, you are able to understand that taking the boost away from them would likely create a good scoring opportunity. Understanding the context behind their positioning and the amount of boost they have will give you a better read on the play and potentially create an opportunity to score. Paying attention to a player's positioning, how much boost they have, and the context behind it all will allow you to see new opportunities that you didn't see before. Being attentive and watching closely is already enough to fix most of your issues. Now that you know what to look for in your matches, it is time to know how to be more aware of your surroundings. All you need to do is make sure you don't limit your own vision of what's going on. Having bad game awareness often comes from the bad habits you have in your games. These bad habits limit the amount of information you can gather on a play, and fixing them will make you more aware of what's going on. I will go over a few common bad habits that people have and good habits that you can replace them with. The first bad habit that needs to be fixed is keeping ball cam off for too long. Some players will keep ball cam off the entire time they spend getting boost. Doing this will limit the amount of information you can get on the play and prevent you from making a good decision. Something that you can do instead is to turn off ball cam to line yourself up with the boost and then immediately turn it back on and keep your eye on the play. You don't need to predict what's going to happen in a play when you can just use ball cam to see what's going on. The second bad habit is when players tunnel vision too much. It is very easy to just focus on the ball and nothing else when you're trying to make a good touch. Focusing only on the ball is how you make a strong shot, but it's not how you make a good one. Before you hit the ball, you should try to look at where the opponents are positioned so you can make a better judgment for what you are going to do with the ball. I want you to treat what I said very carefully. Me telling you to look at the opponents before hitting the ball doesn't mean slowing yourself down. This isn't something that's easy to do consciously, especially if you're trying to get a good touch. Don't try to overthink it, but you should try to do it until it becomes a habit. The last bad habit is when you're watching the play unfold but don't think too deeply about what's going on. Some players will just chase the ball around wherever it goes rather than just being in a good position to hit it. This is because they are reacting to everything that's happening rather than thinking ahead with the information they are given. The way to fix this is to go to where the ball is going to be and not where the ball currently is. This wasted movement can end up costing you a good scoring position. If you just sat in the correct place after knowing where the ball would end up, you would have saved your boost and already be ready to attack. Staying alert and keeping an eye on what's happening is what every high-ranked player does to find scoring opportunities. Knowing what to look for is important, but bad habits limit the information you can gather. Understanding your bad habits and fixing them as fast as possible is a crucial step to never missing another opportunity. Timing is very important when it comes to scoring opportunities. Having bad timing for when you involve yourself in a play can completely waste the opportunity you just had. If you go too early, you can prevent the opportunity from even happening, or put yourself in a worse position. If you go too late, you end up missing it entirely and will need to work harder to get it back. One of these issues will be more prevalent than the other depending on who's playing, so we will go over each issue and fix them one at a time. Being too early is an issue that normally happens to people who lack patience, or people who try too hard to force an opportunity to happen. When you include yourself early into a play, you have a very high chance to completely ruin an opportunity that would have happened if you just stayed still. This can be avoided if you understand that doing more doesn't mean hitting the ball more. Being in the right position every time is better than unnecessarily involving yourself. It is about always being ready to go for the ball when you are really needed. Bad teammates tends to be the reason why people do this, but it isn't an excuse to chase the ball around the field. If you are having these issues, you just need to be calm and watch carefully. Being too late is an issue that happens when a player has bad positioning or hesitates for too long. Bad positioning can come from not paying attention to the play that's happening. Understanding what each player is doing will help you know where the ball will go and where you should be positioning. If you struggle with positioning, I would recommend rewatching some of the earlier parts of the video. If you are hesitating, that might be harder to fix. Hesitation tends to come from the fear of being scored on or the fear of messing up. There is no easy answer for solving an issue like this because the issue is in your own mind. All you need to know is that failure is the first and most important step of learning. Avoiding failure isn't how you get better, all it does is hinder your progress. Embrace your failures and learn from them as much as you can. As long as you don't let failure stop you from trying again, you shouldn't be afraid of it. Scoring opportunities can come in many different ways, but recognizing that there is an opportunity is the most important thing. You need to pay close attention to every player's positioning, the amount of boost they have, and the context behind the situation. The timing of your challenges are also important. If you're too early, you could end up throwing your position away. If you're too late, you miss the opportunity entirely. You need to be patient but never useless, attentive but never overbearing. Anyways, thanks for watching, and don't get tilted.